Welcome to this podcast. My name is Nadine, and today I will be sharing my personal story of rising from the ashes through Yoga Nidra. Today I enjoy a fruitful life. I travel the world, I do speaking engagements, I do podcasts, I inspire successful people to be the best possible versions of themselves so that they can live their purpose. People just like you. But guess what? I wasn't always like this. Many years ago, I had a breakdown. Imagine, it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I am seated in a military aircraft. I am responding to a massive earthquake that has happened in another city in Indonesia. It's hot. I'm stinky. I haven't had anything to eat. I'm cranky. I've been waiting all bloody day to get these clearances for this aircraft. I'm locked up in this aircraft. I'm this woman surrounded by military men. There are no windows in this plane. And as we start to taxi down the runway, my heart starts to race. My belly goes flip-flop. I start to see stars. My knees are wobbly. I am scared shitless. I say to my colleague, my white male colleague, I can't do this. He goes, what do you mean you can't do this? I said, I cannot do this response today. He says, don't be ridiculous. So I get up and I go to the first officer and I say to him, I cannot do this. He says to me, do you realize what you're asking me to do? I said, yes, I'm fully aware. He says, I'm going to have to turn this plane around. I says, do what you got to do, but I cannot do this today. So eventually they turn the aircraft around. I come out, there are lights, there's the ambulance, everything is happening. They stick me in the ambulance. It's peak hour traffic at this point now. I arrive at the hospital and my blood pressure is 197 over 130. And I laugh because when I'm afraid, I laugh. The doctors regulate my blood pressure. They send me back to the hotel with medication, Xanax and blood pressure medication. I take the medication. The next day, I show up. I do the emergency response, high as a kite. And after 2 days of taking that medication, I made myself one promise. I was not going to become addicted to drugs. And so a friend recommended I visit a teacher, and this teacher taught me Yoga Nidra, where she laid me flat and covered me because my body temperature drops. That's part of practicing Yoga Nidra. And through this intentional guiding practice, my vitals restored. When I returned to those doctors and they saw that my vitals had restored without the medication, they were shocked. And so I decided that it was important enough for me to learn this tool so that I could heal myself and share it with the various communities of aid workers, executives, and stressed out human beings just like you and me living in today's world. And so this is how Yoga Nidra completely transformed my life, taking me to the place of who I am today, a consciously aware, successful being. And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you today is because I have had the experience of chronic stress. I have had the experience of feeling afraid. I have had the experience of trauma, repeated trauma. And I know that when you practice this incredibly ancient technique, you will feel better physically, mentally, emotionally. This will help you. It will support you. It will enhance your total and overall well-being. And when you feel better about yourself, that ripples out from you to the rest of your community, your family, and your world. Thank you so much for being here. I am deeply honored that you listened to my story, and I cannot wait to hear yours. Stay tuned for my next episode.